Hey guys, how is everybody doing today? That good, huh?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hey Seth, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see all of you. And so a little bit extra snow out there today. I don't know if you've had class all day or if you've actually been out and done anything, but Mr. Corbin's kind of a midnight sledding kind of guy. So I was outside last night. Probably going to hit it again this afternoon, maybe tonight. So maybe you can get outside. Don't sit inside and waste all this good snow. Okay. So let me tell you what we're going to be doing today. I want to get you in, get you out, and get you ready for the test next week. Okay. So everything today is going to be about slope intercept form. Okay. Y equals mx plus b. And so we're going to do two different things. We're actually going to come up with an equation, and then we're going to graph that equation using slope intercept form. And then I'm going to turn around and give you the graph, and you're going to come up with the equation. Okay. And so we're going to do this in and through breakouts. I'm going to put you in some breakout sessions through the Google Meet and let you guys talk about it. But before that, I want to go ahead and clean up our attendance here a little bit. So let me get your bell ringer up and get you started on that. Okay. So let's see if we can get this going. Okay. So can everybody see the two problems, 1 and 2? Can you see those on your screen? Come on now. You guys, the more you talk,
Yes,
the quicker
sir.
this is going to go. So make sure you unmic and talk. Don't just sit there. Can you see the two problems?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. So here's what I want you to do. If you haven't read the instructions yet, I want you to come up with an equation of the line in slope intercept form. And so this is our good friend slope intercept form right here. Y equals mx plus b. And so it turns out if an equation is solved for y, in other words, y is by itself, we have this thing called slope intercept form. The y and the x will always be in the same spot for the line, but we can come up with a unique equation if we just replace the slope and the y-intercept. So it's unique. You're just going to put in the slope, and you're going to put in the y-intercept right there. Okay? So everybody do that for 1 and 2. I'm going to click off so I can do the attendance, and I will get right back with you. Okay? Okay. Did you guys come up with the equation? Well, I hope you
Yes.
did. So again, all you had to do was everywhere there was a B, that's the y-intercept, and you replace the m with the slope. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms, and I want you to check with each other and make sure you got the right equations, okay? But now remember, you've got to be writing this down because You don't take anything with you into the breakouts. You lose everything that we're watching, okay? So here we go. Hello, Miss Stone.
Hi. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm not at home and I'm in a car right now.
Stone, don't you know that it's snowing outside and bad weather? What are you doing driving?
We had to go to Walmart.
Now, really, do you have to go to Walmart, Stone? I'm just
I
kidding.
guess not.
Yeah, no, I love getting out in the snow. So they're in breakout sessions right now. Let me see if I can put you in one, okay? And they'll tell you what's going on.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, Mr. Gordon. All right. So just a heads up. I don't know what time it is. It might be after your class, but I'm at my grandma's and she might need me to help her do something here in a little while. So
well, we're only going to be on for about 15 more minutes, so surely you guys can hang in for that long.
yeah, like I said, I bet it would be after your class, but I was just like letting you know.
Okay, baby girl.
Hey, Mr. Gordon.
Hey, what's up?
I'm with Cadence right now. My
Okay.
phone book was almost dead, and I want to save it for my other class.
All right. So what happened yesterday?
Uh,
Can you not remember? Because I tried to talk to you yesterday, and all of a sudden you weren't there.
and glitched out or did something.
Huh. All right. So let's go to another page here, and let me see if we can't look at this. All right. Can everybody see the coordinate plane I've got drawn?
Yes.
Okay. So here are your two equations. After you put it into an equation, now again, the y equals mx plus b is kind of like a template. It works for any equation, any linear equation, any line that you have. You can come up with an equation for it just by putting the slope in front of the x and the y-intercept after the x. Okay. And so somebody tell me, what is the first thing we do to graph an equation that's in slope-intercept form? All right, Chloe, what do you think you do? What do you do first?
Graph the y-intercept.
Yeah, it's the y-intercept. I think I asked you first yesterday this same question. So this is the y-intercept, that -3 right there. So I just come down here and I put a point at -3. That's my free space, right? Now, graphing using slope-intercept form is so much easier than plug and chug. You don't have to do a t-chart. You don't have to pick any x's. All you do, if the y is by itself, I know it's slope-intercept form. I graph my y-intercept, and then what's the next thing? What's the next thing, Audrey?
What? It kicked me out for a minute. What were you talking about?
What's the next thing you do to graph the line after you do the free space?
Won't you go down 7 and then over 8?
That's exactly right. The slope, the number in front of x, tells you how to get to another point. It's kind of like a road map. Okay. It's kind of like doing Google Maps. You just go to the point where you are. That's the y-intercept. And you're going to follow rise over run. So we're going to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's your point. Draw your line. And you're in gold right there. Okay, does your line look like mine? I hope so. Because this is going to be what your test is over next week. All right, let's do the second one. This is what your equation should look like. It should be y equals 10x plus 8. I know it's in slope-intercept form because the y is by itself. The slope is in front of the x. The y-intercept is after the x. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? Jackson, what's the first thing you want to do to graph this line?
Oh, what's the problem? This one?
Yeah.
Figure out your y-axis, which is +8.
Okay, that's called the y-intercept, but you're right. It's on the y-axis. So that's my free space. All right. Nice. And then what, Seth?
You're going to use the slope and go up 10 and then over 1.
Okay, you're exactly right. But let me show you a little trick here. If I try to go up 10 over 1, I'm going to run off my graph. And sometimes you guys on your paper and things, it'll go off your graph or your graph's too small. Let me show you a little trick. This is +10 over +1, right? That's the rise over run. Does it change the value if I make it -10 over -1? Isn't a negative divided by negative still a positive? Yes, Mr. Corbin. A negative divided by negative is a positive. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on my paper. Instead of putting it way up here somewhere, I'm just going to go to the bottom. That's what that does. So I'm going to go down 10. There's 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to go to the left 1. And I'm going to draw my line. just like that. Okay. Now, positive 10 over positive 1, you would just go up 10 to the right one, but it's the same as going down 10 to the left one. I'm finding points that are on the bottom of the line. Okay. So that's what your two lines should look like. That will definitely be a skill that you have to do and show me that you can do next week. All right. You have to come up with an equation, fill in the slope and the y-intercept, and then take that and graph it. Graph your free space, that's your y-intercept, and then put your pencil on the free space, do rise over run, and then draw your line. Okay, questions on that? All right, so what you're telling me is you're on the green. Audrey, are you in green?
I think so.
Okay, Chloe, thumbs up.
Chloe went to go tell her dad that her dog ran away. Yeah, my grand called her.
I don't think that I've heard that one. Okay, we'll ask Chloe when she gets back. Miss Cullen, what about you? You thumbs up?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me, Cadence?
I'm just so stressed out right now. Today's been awful.
Awful. Well, the problem is you got Eden's over with you. That'll stress anybody out.
You're telling me.
All right, Cadence, what about you?
I'm on green. I understand it pretty easy.
All right. Speaking of Eden's, I don't want to forget you.
You're unmuted.
Yeah, I'm on green.
Boy, you better stay over and pay attention. All right, Miss Stone. What about you?
I'm on green.
All right, Seth.
I'm green, sir.
All right. So let's take a look at the next part of this, okay? So let me change your screen again here. All
Mr.
right.
Corbin, Chloe said she's in the green.
She did. All
Yeah,
right.
she did.
All right. Good to have her in the green. Okay. So this is what the next piece looks like. All right. So here are three graphs. Can everybody see the three graphs? 1, 2, and 3. Come on now. You guys got to talk to me or this is going to be longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, we see him.
can see 'em.
Okay, thank you. So the next thing that you have to be able to do with slope intercept form is actually look at a graph and write the equation. Okay, not just make a graph from the equation. We want to go in reverse. I'm going to give you the graph and you have to come up with the equation. So in all of these, okay, we're still going to be using slope intercept form. So for all of them, it's going to be y equals something x and then plus or minus your b. So this one again will be y equals the slope and then the x, then the y-intercept. And you see all of the equations are going to be just like that. You're going to keep the y and keep the x and just replace the y-intercept, okay? So what you have to do is you have to find two things from the graphs. You have to find the slope and you have to find the y-intercept. Now, let me tell you what's going to be different a little, and we need to practice this with it's going to be different for these. Like look at number 1. What do you notice about the x and y axis? Look at the numbers on the x and y axis and what do you notice?
One goes by 2s and the other goes by 1s.
That's right. Look at number 2. Look at the numbers on the x and the y axis. What do you notice about those numbers?
One goes by threes and the other goes by fours.
That's right. And so this is why I like this to practice like this, is because the next thing we're going to do is you're going to be using these in real world problems. And real world problems typically don't use just 1, 2, 3, 4 for each box. Like you may be dealing in millions of dollars. You might be dealing in thousands of boxes. And so they go up by different increments. Okay. Some might go up by 10, some might go up by 20, some might go up by twos. And so you've got to be real careful when you're counting on your line. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take these three and I want you to come up with 3 equations for these lines. Now, again, you're going to use the template for slope intercept form, and you're just going to put in the slope before the X and the y-intercept after the X. Okay. Everybody try that, and then we'll give you just a few minutes and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so if you knew what you were doing, it probably would have taken you about that long. Okay, so let's see if we can get you on green with these. So the easiest thing to find, first of all, is your y-intercept. So all you have to do is look on the y-axis and see where the line crosses the y, right, and it crosses right there. So what is that point? It crosses the y-axis at what?
At +1.
Okay, is that a +1? This is what I was telling you guys.
Oh, hold up. I was talking about the other one. That's 2.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be real careful here because the y's are all in twos, right? It goes up 2, 4, 6, 8. The x-axis is all ones. So make sure you notice that, okay? So this is just going to be +2. That's my y-intercept. Okay, now how do I get to my slope? Because that's what goes here in front of the x is the slope. How do I find that?
Don't you count up from 2?
That's all you do. You're going to count rise over run from this point up here to this point. So 2, 4, 6, 8 is my rise. Okay. And then my run, is it in ones or twos?
Ones.
Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, which direction did I go? I went left, didn't I? Is that a negative direction?
Yeah.
So that means it has to be a -4. Now, you can reduce that to -2 if you want, but the equation, this is the equation of this line. Again, in slope-intercept form, the y and the x never move. They stay the same. We just put in the unique slope and the unique y-intercept. That's the only thing that changes about these lines, okay, the equations. All right, let's look at number 2. Somebody tell me what's the free space? What's the y-intercept?
It's positive 4.
Positive 4. So all we do is after the x, we're going to put plus 4. Okay. Now, how do I find the slope?
You do rise over run.
All right. Be real careful here because the numbers are different. So somebody rise it up for me.
You would go up 8. Oh,
You're exactly right. Nice. Because it goes up 4, 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what's the run?
9.
Nice. And both of them are in positive directions. That is the equation of this line. Y equals 8 over 9x plus 4. Okay, see how easy that is? All right. What's the y-intercept for number 3?
-1.
Okay. Yeah, and look at the squares on this one. Each one's worth just 1, right? So -1 is actually -1. Now, what's the slope? What's the rise? What's the run?
The rise is 4. The slope is, the run is -7.
And that's all there is to it. Okay. You rise 1, 2, 3, 4, and you run. And that's negative because you're going to the left, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's it. That's how you come up with an equation from a graph. Go ahead and graph your y-intercept or look for your y-intercept, put it after x, do rise over run, that goes in front of x, and that's the equation for this line. Okay? All right. So here's what you can look forward to. I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of today unless you want to hang around, and I'll show you some more if you're lost. Okay, Monday, you're going to get more problems just like this that will be for grade. You'll have to take a picture of those and send them in to me, and then we'll review those on Wednesday, test on Thursday. Hopefully, we'll be back in session next week, those of you that are in person, and we'll be able to spend some time together, okay? Hang around if you don't understand. Other than that, adios. I love you guys. Come back to me safe next week.